Well, officially back at school after having a wonderful opportunity to go to the Bank of America Roval 400 yesterday. It was so awesome to be at Charlotte once again for this incredible event. I mean, this Roval track does not disappoint. It definitely lived up to the hype as far as the elimination drama for the last race and around in the playoffs, and it was just an incredible day yesterday. So let's get to the main topics. Let's talk about what happened and also get to a couple of other stories that happened, not just on the racetrack, but also off the racetrack that happened this week. Number one, Chase Elliott, my boy, driver topic, captures his third win of the season, his ninth career win in car number 9. Pretty spectacular. Winning the Bank of America Roval 400 yesterday, winning it over Joey Logano, Eric Jones, Kurt Busch, and Ryan Blaney, the top 5. Chase Elliott was really good. I mean, last year he was the dominant car. This year he was really good, but I think he was maybe just saving the car until the very end of the race and showing, hey, to everybody, hey, I'm the guy to beat again. I'm just saving my tires, saving my equipment for the very end, which he apparently did. He ran well early on in stage 1. He pitted late with a lot of other guys as the track started to dry up, and I'll get to that story in a second. He was able to work his way up to the front, laid a couple of laps. He led the final 18 laps of the race. He tied teammate William Byron with the most laps, led at 26. At the beginning of stage 3, when everybody was ready to go green, Chase Elliott actually had to come to pit road because, from what I heard, he did not get all the lug nuts tight on one of the wheels on the right side, so the left side, so that's why they come in and change it. But he started passing guys like crazy, and then cautions fell right into his hands, and he started passing guys like crazy. I mean, there's no stopping Chase Elliott in these road courses. I mean, seriously. And, of course, with the announcement of our schedule for next year, we've got 7 road course races. Chase Elliott could have at least 8 or 9 wins next season. And all I can say is that road courses are going to be his best friend, and they are going to be his best friend for a long, long time. Another thing I need to mention that Chase Elliott did yesterday, winning the Bank of America Roval 400, he set a record. Yesterday, he tied my former favorite driver, NASCAR broadcaster, and Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon for 4 consecutive victories on road courses. That is elite company, and I'm truly blessed that Chase Elliott is a part of that. My 2 favorite drivers, the one I grew up watching and the one I'm currently watching, building his future and his stardom in the sport, just absolutely incredible. And with this win, 5 more bonus points towards the playoffs. Is this finally the year Chase Elliott makes the championship 4? And if he makes the championship 4, he's got a legitimate shot to win this championship because it's in Phoenix. And Chase Elliott's really good at Phoenix. I mean, last year, he was in a must-win in that fall race, but he unfortunately crashed, but he ran the top 5 all day until he had that tire go down and ultimately taking him out. The year previous, he had a chance to make the championship 4 from Phoenix to go to Homestead. He had a dominant car like Kevin Harvick did. He got caught in a crash. The year previous, he almost got to the championship for winning his first race and would have been his only win in the 24 car. But unfortunately, Matt Kenseth caught him with 10 to go and passed him. This finally the year Chase Elliott does it. These next 3 tracks are going to be a little bit of a challenge, but he's won at Kansas. He's had good runs at Texas, but lately it's just been meh. But hopefully he can turn around. And Martinsville, he's definitely gotten the hang of Martinsville over the last couple of years. This could finally be the year Chase Elliott makes the championship 4. We shall see. These next 3 races are going to be a challenge, but I think Chase Elliott, after yesterday's win, he's got more momentum going into these next 3 races. Number 2, this race yesterday was, at the beginning, the first race NASCAR had in 70 years where they were running on rain tires. Early in the morning, as I was coming to the race, and we were expecting rain all day long. But believe it or not, 1 hour before we got started with pre-race ceremonies, it stopped raining. It stopped raining. And the track was still a little damp, and they had the jet drivers out there working on the track. So we started the race with wet tires. Some guys actually started on dry tires, but they were able to hold their ground for the most part. But we saw guys that started on wet tires fly through the field. And then as the track started to dry up really quickly, I might add, which I'm pleasantly surprised, everybody said, okay, we don't think we're going to have any more rain, so let's put on the dry tires. I will admit, the first couple laps on the wet tires, I thought guys were going to start spinning like crazy. But they all did a good job. But as the race went on with the dry tires, and if you got up in some damp areas where the groove wasn't the best place to run at, you would go around, particularly in the infield. There were, I counted 5 or 6 or 7 spins in that infield section. It was absolutely bonkers. It was just crazy. I mean, a lot of those guys were actually able to continue on. We didn't have a whole lot of guys be in the garage of this race. Everybody mostly ran a clean race. I mean, it wasn't as exciting as the first Roval race. I mean, last year's was definitely awesome. This one was still really good, and the different types of tires that we had at the beginning made it really exciting. And I think this shows NASCAR Cup cars obviously for the first time in 70 years. As I mentioned in my trip to the track yesterday, the video's already been uploaded. That they were running wet tires on Cup cars for the first time in 7 years. This shows we can run in the rain on these road courses on wet tires. So if we go to a track next year, say Watkins Glen, if it rains, or this race again, or new tracks we've added, Road America, Circuit of the Americas, and the Indianapolis road course race, because we're going to do the road course on Indianapolis next year. We can run in the rain. We can do it. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I watched the Xfinity race Saturday. Goodness gracious of me, that was a show. They were like, it was a torrential downpour compared to yesterday. Yesterday was fairly clean. I mean, the sun came out at one point yesterday. If you go see my trip to the race, I saw that the sun came out yesterday. That was pretty awesome. Number 3, the 4 men, as I mentioned, have been eliminated from the playoffs are Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola, Clint Bowyer in his final season, and our defending Cup champion, Kyle Busch. I mean, listen, Austin Dillon, he had a really solid round of 16, but I kind of expected this was going to be the end for him in the round of 12, and unfortunately it was. I mean, the power steering issue that he had at Vegas, the crashes at Talladega, and just not really running that well yesterday. I mean, he ran in the top 10 at times, but it wasn't like consistently. He didn't do a good job in this round. But Austin Dillon still exceeded a lot of people's expectations this year. I didn't have him making the playoffs, and he did. I had him eliminated in the round of 16, and he got to the round of 12. So he exceeded some expectations this year, and I think he's got better things coming for him in 2021 next year. Eric Almirola, I kind of had him as a dark horse to get to the round of 8 like he did in 2018. But, he didn't do a good job either yesterday. He kind of struggled. Clint Bowyer at times, it looked like he was going to punch his ticket because he had a really good race car. Bowyer's really good at road courses, and I figured, with the announcement on Thursday that he's going to retire at the end of the season, he's going to be in the Fox booth next year, which I'm excited to see him partner up with Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon, bringing humor and insight into the cars, because he's pretty insightful in these race cars. Bowyer yesterday looked like he had a chance to win, but he was caught up in some incidents, and actually the last 35 laps of the race, he ran without power steering, which is tough to do. You have to manhandle the car. When you lose power steering, you literally have to manhandle it, and I saw pictures on social media after the race. He was laying on the ground next to his car, worn out, and he actually taken to the Infield Medical Center, but he's released. So it was an honor to see Clint Bowyer run the race. It was good to see him live for the last time, because I don't know if I'm going to get to go to another race this year. Highly doubt I'm going to Martinsville. So Clint Bowyer, he had a good round. Hopefully he can win one more race this year, and hopefully it's next week at his home track. But as for our defending Cup champ, Kyle Busch, folks, I saw this coming. As like Austin Dillon, I saw this exit coming. No race wins this season. 2 stage wins. They didn't execute. They didn't. They had a lot of bad luck. They didn't have a lot of good finishes. They crashed at Talladega. They didn't do good. I mean, at times yesterday, Kyle Busch actually was in the lead, and it looked like he was going to win this race and advance into the round of 8 and finally shut up all the doubters. But towards the end of the race, I believe with 3 to go, he was on a different fuel strategy compared to everybody else, and he had to pit for fuel. And that took him out of it and eliminated him from the playoffs. But the biggest thing for Kyle Busch as defending Cup champ, I mean, you have these moments in your career. Don't let this dampen you. You can still win one of these last 4 races. You can upset your 2 teammates who are still in the hunt for a championship. You can still upset the other guy's chances to win a race and make it to the championship 4. There's still an opportunity to win a race this season and keep your consecutive win streak. I need to mention Kyle Busch, ever since he came to the Cup Series full-time in 2005, every year he's been in the Cup full-time, he's won at least a race. He's got to keep that streak alive. He's got 4 more opportunities to get the job done. So that's where it stands with Kyle Busch. So, number 4, the 4 drivers that are advancing to the 8 drivers that are advancing into the round of 8 are Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, and Alex Bowman, who'd been in the news this week, which I'll get to that in my 5th topic of conversation, which is silly season. But those are the 8 men that will be going to the round of 8. Now look at this round, and right now Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, they have a good points margin, but in this round now, nothing's guaranteed. You could have other guys below you win, and you could be out. I mean, there's an opportunity, there's a chance Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin may not make the championship 4. Now that we're into this round, and now that guys have closed up on them as far as bonus points with Keselowski and Chase Elliott, and we got Logano and Truex and Kurt Busch who got the win. I mean, Kurt Busch was, everybody probably had him out of the round of 12, but I said I wouldn't be shocked if Kurt Busch made it to the round of 8. Kurt Busch may be a dark horse in this round along with Alex Bowman. The other 6 guys, you can expect one of those guys to be in the championship 4. But I wouldn't be shocked if Kurt Busch made it. And I would be a little shocked, but not necessarily if Alex Bowman made it, because Bowman's definitely found the groove he had at the beginning of the year when he was so good and had that win at California. He's run well in the playoffs. Kurt Busch has run well in the playoffs. All the 8 guys you have right now in the round of 8, they've all run well in the playoffs. But only 4 of those 8 can advance. And we don't know who they're going to be. These next 3 races are going to be really interesting. That's all I can say. And number 5, silly season took a big turn this past week. So let's get into topics. I've already mentioned Clint Bowyer. He's retiring at the end of the year. Well, now we know who's replacing Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car for 2021. It's Alex Bowman. Yes, Alex Bowman. He had signed an extension to stay with Hendrick for 2021 next year, and we thought it was going to be the 88, but now he's going from the 88 to the 48, and he will bring crew chief Greg Ives with him to the 48. Honestly, this is awesome because Bowman's going to have full sponsorship from Ally Financial, which signed from a contract with Hendrick for the 2019 season all the way to 2023. So Bowman, most likely, with this 1-year extension they signed, this has basically now become a 3-year extension. He's going to be in the 48 car for these next 3 years. So what does that mean for the 4th car? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say it's not confirmed yet, and we don't know when it's going to be announced, but I've got a good feeling Kyle Larson's going to be the driver of that 4th Hendrick car. I guarantee it. They may change the number. The 88 may be changed back to the 5, the 25, or the 57, a number that's been run in the Xfinity Series before, mostly with guys like Kyle Busch and Brian Vickers. That was back in like the middle of the 2000s. They had the 57 car, and Kyle Busch and Brian Vickers drove those cars at times. So yeah, a new team is coming next year, Trackhouse Racing, a team that is owned by Justin Marks, a road course ace, and you've seen him at times on the road course in the Cup and Xfinity. He's owning a team next year, and Daniel Suarez has been announced as the driver. Happy Suarez got a ride, and they'll be getting backing from Richard Childress Racing Engines, and they acquired or leased a charter from the Spire team. So they're going to be locked in every race next year, so we don't have to worry about Daniel Suarez not missing the Daytona 500 like he did earlier this year, so that's pretty awesome. So I'm really happy that Suarez got the ride. And Matt DiBenedetto fans, take a big sigh of relief for next year. DiBenedetto is staying in the 21 car for 2021. I'm really happy for him. And as for 2022, Xfinity Series driver Austin Cindric, he will stay in the 22 car for the Xfinity Series next year, but in 2022, he's going to be promoted to the number 21 for the Wood Brothers. So that's really interesting. I mean, we expect Austin Cindric to be in the Cup Series soon because he's got the talent for it. He's won on road courses, and he's starting to win on these oval tracks. Another year in the Xfinity Series I think is definitely going to help him, and he can bring that experience and level of experience that he's run in the Xfinity Series to the Cup Series and be prepared to take on the mantle of the 21 car. Now, what does that mean for Matt DiBenedetto in 2022? We don't know. Some people say he's going to replace Brad Keselowski, who only signed a 1-year extension. I doubt that. I mean, for the moment, Matt DiBenedetto fans, you have a ride with the Wood Brothers for 2021, and I'm really happy for Matt DiBenedetto. Now, as for the 14 car that Clint Bowyer's going to vacate, who's going to replace him? This is a no-brainer. I mean, it's going to get announced. It's going to be Chase Briscoe. It's going to be Chase Briscoe. He is ready. He's ready to make the jump to the Cup Series next year. Briscoe's got the talent. He's having a career there this year. He's been so good. Everywhere we've gone, Chase Briscoe's going to be the guy driving the number 14 car for 2021. And he, like Cole Custer, they are the future of Stewart-Haas Racing when Kevin Harvick's time is up and when Eric Almirola's time is up. Chase Briscoe, I've got a good feeling, will be the driver of the number 14 car. So that's all I have to say about the race yesterday. Really solid race, really fun. It was so exciting to be there. And obviously the news about silly season. It's been an absolutely wild week. I do want to take the moment. This is not racing related. This is music related that I have to say. This past Tuesday, the music world lost perhaps the greatest guitarist ever in Eddie Van Halen. I am a big fan of Van Halen. I adored Eddie Van Halen's music, his guitar tapping. You know, I've played a couple of their songs on my guitar. I can't fully do the solos. I'm still working on it on my guitar. But he passed away Tuesday at the age of 65 due to throat cancer. It's something that's been silent the last 5 years. He's been dealt with cancer since the beginning of the new millennium. And he was cancer-free from his tongue in the early 2010s, but he He's been battling throat cancer the last 5 years, which is why you haven't seen Van Halen on the road. And my condolences out to the Van Halen family and to the members of Van Halen. It's really, really sad. We lost a legend, but his legacy will never die. And I just want to throw it out there because I'm a big rock and roll fan and I like Van Halen a lot. And Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this weekend from the Roval. It was a fun experience. So up next is the first race in the round of 8 at Kansas. What's going to happen? Will Clint Bowyer, in his final race there, will he upset the playoff grid and win at his home track in his final season? Or one of the playoff drivers, Harvick, Hamlin, Elliott, Keselowski, Logano, Truex, Bowman, Kurt Busch, which one of those guys is going to win the race and advance to the championship 4? We're about to find out. So subscribe, like, congrats to Chase winning again at a Roval. At the Roval, on a road course, just awesome. We got Shannon at the Championship 4, and it starts next weekend. I can't wait. Until then, y'all, have a good week.